After 15 years of helping clients get beyond their anxiety issues, I've noticed that the cause of the problem is usually because they've got one vital thing about anxiety wrong. Not in the way they manage it, but in the way they understand it. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what the biggest mistake is that you're probably making as well. Because once you correct this mistake, everything changes for the better. Welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, you'll know that I'm constantly looking for effective ways to re-educate those that suffer with high anxiety to the point where they no longer regard it as a problem. And something happened the other day during a client session that gave me a moment of revelation. I suddenly realized the exact mistake this particular client was making in terms of how they view anxiety, and how correcting this mistake might actually help not just this client, but most of the people I see, and probably the vast majority of those that watch my channel. This client said to me, I don't know how it happened, but at some point anxiety invaded my mind and has steadily begun to spread to all aspects of my thought process, my health, my work, my relationships, even now my sleep. They very much regarded anxiety as the intruder that had broken into their house and was now moving from room to room, wreaking havoc. Now, over the years, I've heard people describe anxiety in all sorts of ways. They'll call it the enemy. They'll say it's the intruder they're trying to evict. They'll say it's an unwelcome visitor that just won't leave. And quite often, they'll say it's a part of themselves they actually hate. Have you at times heard yourself referring to anxiety in these terms? But here's the truth. All of that is wrong. Now, if you've visited my channel before, or maybe viewed my TED Talk, which by the way is linked in the description below, then you'll be familiar with an analogy I often describe to clients to help explain the way our mind works and, most importantly, anxiety's role in it. I want you to imagine your mind as a ship. You, the conscious part of you, are the captain, setting the course, deciding where you want to go. The captain has an idea of where we want to go, why we want to go there, and maybe some idea of how we're going to get there. But the part of our mind with its hands on all the things that steer and sail our ship is the crew. That's our subconscious. Our crew communicate with us, the captain, using one essential system: emotion. Each emotion is like a signal or message your crew sends up to help you decide on the appropriate course. Fear says, sail away, there's danger ahead. Anger says, we've been wronged, take some action to right the wrong. And anxiety simply says, pay attention, this is important. That's right, believe it or not, before you started to experience high levels of anxiety, to the point where you started to regard yourself as having an anxiety problem, you were already feeling anxious to some degree pretty much every day. It just wasn't regarded as a separate entity because it wasn't a problem, it was functional. So the system was working perfectly until one day the captain made a critical mistake. Instead of understanding these emotional signals as helpful communication from below deck, the captain started to believe that one of them, anxiety, shouldn't actually be there. We started to perceive anxiety as an intruder, a saboteur on board. As a result of this, the crew got confused, they got concerned, maybe they even panicked. They started scanning every corner of the ship, searching for the enemy. And here's the problem. It was an enemy that didn't actually exist. But of course the captain kept wanting to know where this invader was hiding and demanding that we get rid of it. So the crew responded with more of that emotion they use when important stuff is going on: anxiety. As the issue became more and more pressing, the crew worked harder and harder to get rid of an intruder that just wasn't there, creating more and more anxiety, which only makes both captain and crew think that there is. But the truth is, there was never an intruder. Just a perfectly healthy, functioning crew working hard on a problem that didn't ever need to be solved, trying to find an invader that was never there. So this is the mistake I see clients making all the time. They perceive anxiety to be a separate part of them, a specific crew member called anxiety. Maybe not even a crew member, maybe a stowaway. But anxiety isn't a separate part of you. It's not something that arrived one day to ruin your life. Anxiety is simply the emotion your mind uses to direct your focus. It's your crew saying, Captain, there's something here that matters. Sometimes that thing is a genuine threat, a sudden danger, or a looming deadline. Sometimes it's something positive and meaningful, a person, an ambition, an opportunity you care about. But anxiety's message is always the same. Pay attention. It's not a single individual crew member. It's maybe all of your crew using the messaging system that we're hardwired to utilize, emotions. So when we label anxiety as the problem, when we call it an invader or an illness, we just confuse the crew further. They keep sounding the alarm, desperate for you to understand their message. As a result, you keep getting alarmed. And that's how the anxiety loop keeps turning. That's how we perpetuate anxiety, by becoming afraid to feel anxious and thus framing it in our mind as a threat. This is why you often hear people like me talk about acceptance. True acceptance isn't about tolerating anxiety or pretending you can do your best to accommodate a part of you that you don't actually like and that you wish would just leave. It's about understanding. It's about realizing that this part of you currently doing fear and anxiety can just as easily do calm and relaxed, happy and joyful, excited and inspired. If we just understand that there's nothing to be afraid of and that there is no intruder. Acceptance is recognizing that the signal was never the problem. The only problem was the way you were interpreting it. When you stop treating anxiety as an intruder and start recognizing it as just another way your crew communicates, everything settles down. The alarms stop blaring, you regain calm and clarity, and the ship sails smoothly again. No matter how you might feel when you're anxious, always remember you're not broken, and anxiety isn't a malfunction. It's just one of the signals your mind uses to help you navigate life. Fear says move away. Anger says push back. Anxiety says pay attention. When you stop seeing it as an enemy and start recognizing it as part of your emotional compass, you don't just feel calmer, you start trusting yourself again. The faith you used to have in your own emotions and responses gets restored. Because there was never an intruder on your ship, only your crew doing their job. Let me know if this video has helped you see anxiety in a different light in the comments below. Remember to check out the members area for weekly live Q&As, hit the like button and subscribe, and why not check out another one of my videos right now by clicking here. But that's it for this one. I'm Tim Box. Always remember, be kind to your mind, and I'll see you next time.